Hey all, welcome back to SSX 3. I'm Aesthetic. With me again is Blank Tester.
Hey kids, how's it going?
And Turo.
Cherry Cola Soda Shack.
We're headed back to Peak 3 to do the show-off events again. Slopestyle, Big Air, and Super Pipe. And here is where we'll pull it all together and talk about kind of the extra mechanics for tricking that push SSX 3 above and beyond any other extreme sports game, really. The things you could do and kind of the meta, you know, of it that make this so enjoyable. But we'll get into that kind of once we get to the first event. So we're headed over to Slopestyle first for Kicked Out.
We're just going to take a small leisurely ride and before we, you know, just go nuts.
Yeah, I had to throw in the preview.
Now for what's new in the circuit, Peak 3's Kicked Out is where competitors are throwing it down for the slope style. A run with the name Kicked Out, hey, you know this event isn't gonna be tame. Let me know what happens, will ya? We got everything you need right here on Radio Big.
Yeah. Alright, so yeah, we're riding up here, and Kicked Out, I'll just say it right now, is much harder than the rest of the game. It's a huge difficulty spike, so do not feel like you're bad at the game if you've been, you know, doing all right and getting your gold medals, and then you get up here and it's like, oh my god, I need to get so many more points. You may need to get like 800,000 points on your final run to get gold here.
Wow.
We'll say, very glad that the best song in the game is what's playing for your runs.
Yeah, oh my god,
Yeah.
After, again, the entire game, I was just not getting the rock songs. Finally, by this point, my playlist is just like the 6 songs that I want to play at some point in the videos. And none of the others. And also on Kicked Out, I will actually show all 3 heats here, because we won't see this track in the all-peak jam. Unlike the previous peak jams that went to the slopestyle track on them. So I want to, you know, show as much of this track as I can while it's here. But yeah, looking ahead at your final run, to get gold on this track, you'll need to do like one of these 3 things that I'm going to mention. And if you want platinum, maybe 2 of these 3 things. 1, hit all the 10 times multipliers with big tricks. Basically, get as most out of those as you can. 2, keep a combo going down the track to get a ton of bonus points. Don't crash it and lose all those points like I would have. Or 3, monster trick all over the place. And because I want these runs to be able to show off, you know, as much of the track as I can, and so I'm not just taking the most effective line every time, I'll be doing 1 and 3. I'll be monster tricking all over the place.
I see.
But that is actually a good lead-in to kind of the first thing we'll talk about here. And I'm really hoping that, you know, you enjoy or understand what we're going to bring up here, and that by the end of this video, you can also be pulling sick tricks and getting fucking ripped.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
So yeah, across this playthrough, we've introduced monster tricks and we've shown them off for each of the maneuvers. And there's no getting around it. If you want to get the highest scores, or have the easiest time getting a high score, you'll be doing monster tricks as often as you can. And there's a monster trick for every non-signature Uber, but some are just more efficient and effective than others. Why pick an Uber with a 10,000 point monster trick when you can do a 30,000 point one? Why try a more complicated trick where you have to do like an Uber plus a tweaked grab and takes forever, when there are simpler ones for the same point totals? So, the monster trick meta, basically, has 2 or 3 tricks that are above and beyond the best ones to do, combining speed, point value, and simplicity. And these are the Stone Age, the Executioner, and the Alpine Star. You've seen all of these, but I'll be doing them a lot more here. So, Stone Age is a backside 180, double backflip Madonna for 20,000 points. And you could do this one very quickly, basically as quick as the animation for doing the Madonna, which is one of the shortest Ubers in the game. The Executioner is a frontside 180, triple backflip SSX assist for 30,000 points. Most efficient 30k trick in the game. The other ones is, again, like Uber plus grab or more complicated stuff. And finally, the Alpine Star, frontside 540, double backflip Carolicker for 20,000 points. Again, you could do it basically in the time it takes you to do the animation. Especially with the first of the meta mechanics to discuss, tapping. As I mentioned in an earlier video, If you're spinning or flipping in the air and you stop holding the D-pad, the game will finish your flip or spin for you, and will actually do so faster than you would with holding the input all the way around. So the fastest way to flip, for example, is to just press a D-pad input and immediately let go, or tap to start a flip. Let the game do the animation, and then right before that finishes, tap the D-pad again if you want to do a double flip, and repeat for triple, quad, etc. Now it's really hard, obviously almost impossible, to only re-tap the D-pad once on the perfect frame to do another flip in the same trick, so everyone will recommend double tapping that next flip input. So when one animation's coming around, you'd push like ta-ta, so that you're pushing the button down on a bigger window of time. That usually works without losing too much of the bonus of the game's faster auto flips. If you cannot get the timing down for that most efficient version of tapping, you could still just tap the D-pad repeatedly throughout your entire trick to still rotate faster than if you were just holding the entire time, though obviously not as fast as the best case tapping. But again, a lot easier, and throughout this playthrough, if you've seen me spin and flip on a big jump and it looks kinda stuttery, that's what I was doing. And I will mention, for this and the next topic I want to cover, there are other videos by other people that are more specifically about those with like controller inputs that you can see and such. So I'll link some from like Rithik, another SSX 3 player or speedrunner, again specifically about those. But along with flipping as fast as possible, and here we are on Heat 3, so actually I'll talk about that really quick. Again, what I'm doing here is monster tricking effectively through the best multipliers. So you will want to get a good start and get into your tier 2 Ubers for this first 10x, so you can do a monster trick through it. That was like 300,000 points. I'm not gonna go, you know, multiplier by multiplier, but yeah, again, you could just see how these things add up. So, along with flipping as fast as possible, you might want to start another trick in the air as soon as possible after finishing a trick, or land a trick earlier than normal, and this is where we talk about frame canceling. Usually, when you do an Uber trick, you watch the animation, and when the animation's finished, you can land the trick without crashing. That's why it can be annoying when certain Uber tricks have longer landing parts after the part you can hold, and it's like, oh my god, I have to remember to arbitrarily stop the court-martial much earlier than the torpedo, for instance, so that longer animation can play out. There's 10 times multiplier number 3. Well, because SSX 3 is a good game, programmed so that everything is really fluid, starting another trick immediately after a trick shortens the ending animation, sort of. So you can do a bunch of tricks in one jump, chain them together without like having to go to a neutral position between each one and looking really janky and slow. So, when you're finishing an Uber trick and are in that window of time where you can push another input to end the trick early, do so, and then immediately release that input. Tap it, just like we talked about for tapping to flip faster. And boom, you canceled a portion of your animation's frames, and you can end the trick earlier than normal. Also, like we discussed for tapping when it came to flipping, I'd recommend double tapping whatever trick button you want to hit for your frame cancel input, just because it makes it a lot more consistent. Yeah, so putting these advanced things together, efficient monster tricks, tapping, and frame canceling, we can do some incredible things, like watch this. So, tap the first executioner, frame cancel, tap the second executioner, frame cancel, and if I was better at that, I could probably do a Stone Age at the end of that.
Jesus Christ.
But there we go. Platinum is 1.2 million, and I got 2.3 million.
That was flash as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So putting those advanced things together, efficient monster tricks, tapping and frame canceling, we can get the most points out of every jump, do multiple monsters in jump, or do one where you didn't have time before. And these mechanics are useful outside of show-off as well, because doing more spins or flips in a jump, doing a bigger trick by tapping will get you more boost for racing. Frame canceling to end Ubers faster removes a lot of the headache for those Ubers that take forever to land. If you go back and watch the previous video, I frame canceled a lot with the court-martial and guillotine so that I could land them on time and use them a lot more often with less worry. I mean, I know it all like sounds complicated, but again, I'll link to videos that have like controller inputs so you can see what people actually do.
Here's the circuit's latest. The name says it all, baby. Much-2-Much. Where else would you go to catch the latest big air action? I think it's safe to say it's going to be legendary, so don't miss it. Stay tuned right here to Radio Big.
And it's just one thing I want to say is that, yeah, all of it sounds complicated, and it is pretty hard. Like, I mean, we have been playing this, I mean, I have, and SSX have been playing this game for years, but also, it's a game that is definitely worth the time that you would put in to learn those mechanics fluidly. Like, it's not really frustrating to learn, because it's just a fun game to play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, the core gameplay loop is so good on its own that no matter what skill level you achieve, you don't have to be the best in the world at any of those advanced techniques, but along the way, you will still be having fun because it's a good-ass game.
Yeah, a lot like the Tony Hawk games in that sense, in which it's a game in which you just want to get better at, just because that in and of itself is fun.
Yeah, I'm not the best in the world. I'm not competing for the show-off records, but I'm good enough at, again, you know, tapping, frame canceling, etc., that I can just, you know, do them and be more efficient, you know, get through these events earlier if I want to maximize a character, or again, have more fun doing a wider variety of Ubers off a wider variety of jumps.
Yeah, and I mean, setting your own personal sort of goals for yourself score-wise, or just if you want to piss off your friends who, you know, you're like, okay, yeah, I'll do a run, you do a run, let's see who's better, and then you just pull out some insane bullshit like that, you know. You can make your friends hate you.
Yeah, and I mean, I know I worded things pretty, I don't know, maybe lengthy, but that's because I wanted to avoid, you know, any risk of just like a shorthand, like, oh yeah, you just do this, where I don't explain it, like, right.
No, I think you explained it really well.
Yeah, you just frame cancel your Stone Age, and then you just, you know,
And it really makes sense kind of when you're doing this, like, look, I'm doing this, and it's really like, da-da-da-da.
Yeah, it's really methodical, really rhythmic,
So the thing about Much-2-Much I just want to mention, if you get gold here, you'll probably also get platinum, because as you saw, I had to get like 180,000 to get first place, and the platinum is 200,000.
Oh,
it's
probably should have scaled
they
it
didn't
up,
scale
but didn't.
that.
Weird.
Yeah, but that's like where you get the biggest air. Like the career highlight for getting like a 9-second air time off, do that final jump there, and I mean, oh my god.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Welcome back to
the verticality just all over Peak 3 is so fun. So fun. Actually, back in the day, I had a cheat code booklet, and of course I love this game, and this being a popular game, had cheat codes in that booklet. And I found the all-peak code to get access to Peak 3 immediately, and I was like, wow. Oh, I'll finish this after the dialogue.
Yeah.
Time to check in with what's happening on the circuit. It's a bit of a trek, but definitely where the action is. Peak 3's Perpendiculous is where today's super pipe is being held. We're talking high alpine lunacy. Make sure you catch some of this. Stay tuned for all the latest news here on Radio Big.
Yeah, so like I entered in the code to get immediate access to Peak 3 and was immediately in over my head.
Yeah, you were just stomped on.
I just got fucked because I didn't even know how to progress in the game. I didn't even know how to unlock Peak 2.
Oh god.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to play though.
Let me ask you guys. This is so only semi-related to what you just said. So those cheat code booklets or books or whatever. I remember I got one of those from like a Scholastic whatever event at our school. And I tried the cheat codes, and I would say about 2/3 of the cheat codes in there just didn't fucking work.
Oh.
Like it was like some kind of fucking ripoff. Was that not everyone else's experience?
I don't know, I had a cheat code book, but you know me, I only play like 5 games, so...
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess mine might have been an action replay, like... book, and my brother, because I got the book, I was like, I got the book before we got an action replay, and so then like, I was like, hey, Dave, you want to get an action replay? So we did, and then we tried them out, and like, it worked, like a couple of the games worked, but it seemed to have like a listing for like every game on the GameCube or whatever, and then like, it was like games we'd never heard of, and then there would be like, of course, like 5 or 6 codes, and they all had like what they were supposed to do, and like 2/3 of the codes just didn't do anything.
I personally did not get into the action replay thing, so
Yeah,
I don't know. Post in the comments.
Yeah.
Back in
My
the day,
sister's friend had an action replay, and I just didn't understand how it worked. I just thought it was like another method of inputting cheat codes. Which
it basically
wasn't
is.
true. Well, most of the
Yeah.
cheat code booklets that I had didn't have action replay codes.
oh sure, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's basically like a device to go in between the game and the console before you can, to modify
Yeah.
the data. So like.
Yeah.
to actually like modify at like code level
Out of
what's going
at a
on
code
in the
level,
game.
yeah. So like an action replay can do a lot more than a cheat code because a cheat code is built in.
That is so fucking sick.
A few quick things about
That was
Perpendiculous.
so fucking cool, dude.
So yeah, the thing about this is that there are these really elevated pipes, but you can only get into them by going to like the end of the main pipe and hand planting over. And then it's like, that's kind of cool, but then it's like, wow, I kind of had to spend a bunch of time to get here. It's not like Schizophrenia's where you could just get into them from the side.
Oh right, yeah.
But yeah, then
Yeah, you basically
when
have to,
you're
like,
up
make
there,
3
I
laps.
think, they're like thinner, so you can get more air, you could do even swagger hand plants, and you have to like go back and jump out of the upper ones to get the snowflakes.
Yeah, and if you actually end your run up there inside the thing, you get to ride in the Honda Element.
Oh my god, that's how...
That's
We
how
were
yeah,
doing
that's
it wrong
the way
all
you
along.
do it. Then you get to ride the Honda Element.
We were going down the wrong path all along.
Yeah, who knew? I did. That's why I told you just now.
Yeah, somehow you
Yeah.
were the one out of all of us that
I looked
knew
it up while
that
we were
secret.
talking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
You
was
checked
looking
the
up
wiki.
the cheat codes that I saw. Ride Honda Element.
Also, once again, when you're in a half pipe, I guess a quarter pipe, but I'll just say a half pipe for
Yeah.
here. When you end like your first trick, you can immediately start the second without any frame canceling. Though then, if you do a third one, you'd have one frame cancel. So like if you're practicing your frame canceling, it's not a good idea to practice here because you don't have to
Oh,
in
yeah.
between
So
trick 1 and 2. But yeah,
yeah, so then you wouldn't know whether or not you failed it. Yeah,
right.
that makes sense. Oh man.
Yeah,
What's
and
the-
again,
Of course.
like since I wanted to show off more, unique parts of the things, I am relying on monster tricking a lot to get my points. Because if I tried to just do whatever and also, do this amount of doing other things, I wouldn't get first place probably.
Huh.
Just like because I'm losing a lot of time here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind
But
of putzing
yeah,
around.
having fun.
I don't know if anyone's gonna be like, "Oh, you rely on monster tricks too much." I'm just cutting that off the pass.
I don't think they will, but I mean, if they do, then sorry. Like,
Yeah,
what?
I mean, I guess,
what's
like,
supposed to happen?
If you
here?
really are competing for the world records, again, you are kind of doing the same 2 or 3 tricks over and over. But, there's a good middle ground, I think.
yeah,
You could monster trick a bunch so that you can do a corkscrew when you want to.
that's true. The corkscrew is a really fun trick that we invented,
Yeah.
where you die,
Yeah.
you crash and die,
And then you just keep
Oh.
going.
and then you
Right.
keep going. Yeah, that way you can do more tricks.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Why would you
Yeah,
die
like
for
a,
real?
Like a corpse roll. Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, you idiot. Why would you die for real?
Imagine, dying.
Like, what an idiot.
Whoa. Imagine hurting yourself. This meme was brought to you by SSX Gang.
Hey, Allegra! Why don't you get your butt on over to the backcountry so I can kick it large?
Okay.
Okay.
Sir.
Yeah, he's challenging us to the backcountry now for race and freestyle.
Oh shit.
Oh, shit.
The throne.
Yeah. You dropped this, king. I don't know. I'll refine that for next video. But yeah, what is it? Imagine crashing and hurting yourself and not being able to get right back up and keep going. This meme brought to you by SSX Gang or something. I don't know. Okay. So yeah, that was the graduate school level class of SSX3 mechanics. Once again, that's why I love this game. That's why this game is way better than so many others. But yeah, we're headed up to the throne, the backcountry, to challenge Simon next time. Join us then.